Here tonight at 6, they have been flooding the airwaves. You've seen them. The ads on Amendment number 2, pushing you to vote yes or no on abortion in Kentucky. In fact, the Kentucky Supreme Court is holding off on ruling on the legal challenges over all this until it sees how voters decide. WHAS 11's Isaiah Kim Martinez explains which claims in these ads may be misleading in our Election Eve Verify report. Isaiah, what'd you learn?
Well, Doug, the amendment, of course, deals with whether voters believe there's a constitutional right to an abortion in Kentucky, but in trying to persuade folks on what goes too far, we've learned both sides have stretched the amendment's direct impact a bit. And if you're headed to the polls tomorrow, here's what you need to know. We'll start with this TV ad, pushing Kentuckians to vote no on the amendment.
Politicians will ban abortions, no exceptions, not for rape, incest, or the life of the mother.
Let's verify. Would voting yes on Amendment 2 eliminate all exceptions for abortion? Our sources: Kentucky Revised Statute 311.772 and University of Louisville constitutional law professor Sam Markison. According to the Human Life Protection Act, also known as the Trigger Law passed in 2019, a licensed physician, quote, may knowingly perform an abortion to prevent a pregnant mother's death, substantial risk of death due to a physical condition, or serious and permanent impairment to a life-sustaining organ, end quote. So, no. Even if Amendment 2 passed, current Kentucky law would still provide exception for a mother's life. But Markison says while the line in the ad could be deemed misleading, it could also hold truth if doctors themselves decide not to perform the procedure at all in fear of backlash and prosecution.
If providers are risk averse or their insurers are risk averse in saying, well, we think we can come under a medical exception, but it's not clear, and in that circumstance, we'd rather not take the risk.
Now, let's go to an ad pushing Kentuckians to vote yes on the amendment.
Radical, out-of-state activists want to spend your tax dollars on late-term abortions, even up to the moment of birth.
Let's verify this. Would voting no on Amendment 2 impact your tax dollars being spent on abortions? We again have Markison as the source. He confirms abortions are not publicly funded under current state law in the majority of cases, which was the case even before Roe v. Wade was overturned.
So that's a little bit misleading to suggest that somehow that's at stake in this amendment. I think that's there for voters who might think, well, I don't want public funding, but I want to protect a woman's right to make a private decision. And they want to focus on the dollars issue when the dollars issue is really a little bit to one side.
So this answer: no, voting down Amendment 2 would not affect tax dollars spent on the procedure. And remember, if the amendment passes, any lawsuits aiming to legalize abortions again here in the state would likely be dismissed. If it fails, the door stays open for the Kentucky Supreme Court to make the ultimate call, deciding whether the current ban violates women's constitutional rights. With your Verify here, I'm Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.